Hey everyone, Kevin Lewis here with Home Life Benchmark Realty. I want to bring you up to speed with what's happening in our market right now with my August 2018 Fraser Valley real estate market update. So what's actually going on in our market right now? Everybody's going around saying how slow the market is, what's happening, are we in for a crash? Well, I want to clear that up for you a little bit today. First of all, I want to say I don't think there's going to be any sort of a crash coming, maybe a small correction in certain sectors of the market, but nothing even close to a crash. Sure, things have been slower this year than they have been for the last 3 years, but we can't compare the last 3 years as what we would look at as a normal market, since we have more than doubled almost all property types in 3 years' time. I'll tell you, that's anything but normal. So I'd say that brings up the question of, well, what is normal? If you look at our 10-year average for sales in July, or this year, we're only about 12% below the 10-year average. Keep in mind that 10-year average includes the last 3 years, which have been anything but normal. So if you take those 3 years out and look at it, we're pretty well sitting where we should be for a normal market. I hear a lot of different ideas going around. Sellers, buyers. I hear a lot of sellers saying, oh, this is a terrible time to sell because the market's slow. You might have your home on the market for, say 30 days before you get a good offer. Well, again, comparing to a normal market, 30 days is pretty good time. When we look back 4 or 5 years ago, the average time on market was up in the 40s, even 50 days. So if we're getting in 30 days, we're still above the average market for 10 years. Not to mention, prices really haven't changed much in the past year. So if you had it sold a year ago versus now, all that's really changing is you're taking a little bit longer to get probably about the same price you would have a year ago. Well, mind you, this is talking detached homes. Condos, of course, have gone up, but then you could say the same thing, condos compared to this time 2 months ago, 3 months ago, when things were just flying off the shelf. I also hear a lot of sellers saying, well, why not wait till spring? You know, spring's the best time to sell your house. Well, what I have to say about that is, if I'm hearing a lot of people saying that, that means other agents are hearing a lot of people saying that. If everybody decides to wait until spring, that means we're going to have even more surplus of listings coming up in the spring next year. And who's to say that that means there's more buyers coming out? I don't think there's going to be. So if you're thinking of selling now or thinking of waiting until spring, I would say list now, because the buyers that are out in fall, they're serious. They're qualified. They want to buy a house. There's a reason they're going out in the rain looking for a home. As far as buyers go, I hear a lot of feedback coming from my potential buyer clients saying, well, why wouldn't we wait for prices to drop? Well, I don't really think prices are going to drop too much. I'm pretty sure where we're at is pretty good stability as far as the market goes. We have to keep in mind, if we're talking detached homes versus condos, there's a different story. As far as detached homes go, we're talking about land. You can't create more land. We're at a point now where older homes, anything 1990 or older, barring some custom homes or acreage properties kind of thing, they're worth 90 to 95% of their value coming straight from their land. Condos and townhouses, well, I think that for the most part, they're going to stay pretty stable. We might see over the next 2 years, the same with detached, we might see something like 4 or 5% decrease in price in a correction. That's only going to recover again in another year or two after that. But what I see happening in condos is we've got a lot of much older properties that for the longest time were staying in the $70,000, $80,000 range that have now jumped up to over 300,000. Those are the properties where I think the bulk of the correction is going to come from, and I do see those properties dropping in price. If that's what you're looking to buy, then great. I'd say definitely want to wait. That's probably a smart decision because I think you will see the prices come down there. If you're thinking of buying something newer, and when I say newer, again, I mean 1985 and newer as far as attached places go, I don't think you're going to see too much change in price over the next little bit of time. And if prices do come down and you're currently renting, you don't own a property, you're probably not going to end up coming out on top if you actually do the math. You'll probably find that what you're spending in rent money versus what you could be putting towards a mortgage and building up your own equity, it probably doesn't add up to the point where it's going to make any difference because, like I said, I don't see the prices changing too significantly. The other side of that is maybe prices don't even come down, and like what happened the last couple of years, maybe prices go up again. I doubt that's going to happen, but it is, of course, a possibility. So if that sounds like you, I would say give me a call today. Let's book a time to go grab a coffee and we'll break it down. We'll look at what your situation is. We'll look at your numbers, your rent that you're paying each month, your savings, what you can afford, and see if it does make sense for you to purchase a property now. Because I bet you'd probably be surprised and you'll probably end up coming out on top if your end goal is to own property and you have the down payment. It probably makes sense to buy now. So to summarize this market update, I want to end with a few little stats for my more analytical folks out there. Basically what we've seen as far as prices in a month-to-month scenario, we've seen things come down in all sectors, so that's detached homes, townhouses, and condos. Across the board, we've seen 0.1% price decrease. 0.1%. That's basically no change month to month, and that's been the case for the last 3 months. If you ask me, that means stability because you can't get more stable than no price changes. At the end of the day, everybody's situation is different. So if you're thinking about making some sort of a real estate transaction in the near future, or you just have some questions for me, by all means, please get in touch with me. 604-218-5635. You can call, you can text, you can email me at kevin@kevinlewis.com. Send me a Facebook message. I don't care how you get in touch, but get in touch with me. Let me know what you think. Let me know what questions you have. I can't wait to help you out and either help you buy a home, sell your place, or whatever in between.